He is in his 14th season there. He was the 2011 National Coach of the Year. He won a national championship in Michigan in 1989. San Diego State is a 7 seed in the South. They face Oklahoma on Friday in Philadelphia. Steve Fisher is my guest. Steve, nice to have you back. How are you?
I'm doing good, Jim. How are you?
Doing great, Steve. Thank you very much. You are a 7. Let me get your thoughts on the committee. Do you feel like they got it about right, and is that where you expected to end up?
Jim, I thought we would be somewhere 7, 8, or 9, but if I'd had to guess, I would have said more an 8, a 9. So a 7 was at the upper end, but I'm pleased that we're in, and our league, as you know, got the greatest number we've ever had, 5 teams in, and we've had phenomenal competition. So I think that kind of the committee took all that into account when they seeded ourselves.
All right, so for instance, when you say maybe a 7, maybe an 8, maybe a 9, can you talk about the difference, Steve, between being a 7 and an 8?
Well, if you happen to win your first game and you're an 8 or 9, you're looking at a number 1 seed. That being said, 10 days to 2 weeks ago, I do believe Georgetown was talked about as a potential number 1 seed. So I don't know that there's a tremendous amount of difference. You're going to play good people no matter where your seed is, and for us, playing in Oklahoma as opposed to playing either an 8 or a 9 seed, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference, to be honest.
We are talking to San Diego State head coach Steve Fisher. You know, you've been in this thing a very long time, and you've seen the college game for a long time. The tournament is wide open right now. If you had to come up with a reason for it, is it because the better teams have come back to the pack, or have the smaller teams gone out and got them, and are they just better than they've ever been?
I think, Jim, there are more teams like us and like the teams in our league that are very, very good, very talented, and if you don't put a jersey on them and you march them out on the floor, they look like Final Four teams. There's size, there's athleticism, there's depth. And what's obviously happened is with the early influx of people opting for the NBA, you're more apt to, in our league, to keep guys for 3 and 4 years. So I think all those things roll together. It breeds for a greater degree of closeness in competition, and probably potentially, I would say, the most exciting tournament we've had in a long time.
San Diego State head coach Steve Fisher joining us. So you've got that 7 seed. You go up against Oklahoma, which is coached by your old friend Lon Krueger. Is it a challenge that you like, or is it somewhat bittersweet to be going up against somebody with whom you're so close?
I'd rather not be playing Lon Krueger, to be honest, Jim. In this business, you have a whole lot of acquaintances that you shake hands with and laugh for 20 minutes, and you have very few friends. Lon is a true friend, and we've been that way for a long, long time. When we go on events sponsored by different groups, our wives have become very close. We talk about one another's family, and we truly are friends. And he was at Vegas while we were here, and now he's at Oklahoma. This year, when we beat UCLA, I got a text immediately after the game from Lon. When he beat Kansas, there was the same from our end, and it's genuine. And that's, to be honest with you, rare. So I'm happy we're both in. I wish we were in opposite brackets.
You know, I understand that. I wonder what it's like going forward. I mean, you're going to give this thing everything you've got, and he's going to give it everything he's got, and then no matter what happens, you know, as you go forward and you see him again, is it something that will ever come up? Do you pretend it never happened, win, lose, or draw? I mean, when you're that close, how do you approach it after it happens?
I don't think you even talk about it too much. You might just a little bit. We've had some games over the years between our two clubs that have been very, very close, some crazy games. Both of us have won, and we've hugged and shook hands, and the friendship and relationship hasn't changed after that.
Talking to Steve Fisher, you know, you mentioned the Mountain West got 5 teams in. It's the most in conference history. Great thing for the conference, but now you've got to go out there and back it up. Is there a certain pressure in the conference to live up to that number and justify it?
I think there is, to be honest with you. In order for us to take that next step and really solidify credibility nationwide, we have to back up what we've done in the non-conference season, and that's schedule and beat really good teams. We have to do that in the tournament. and hopefully that will happen. 5 of us in, and I think there's a potential for several to make runs and maybe deep runs into this year's tournament.
Steve, what's it like?
Excited about it. Hopefully we're going to be one of them.
Yeah, excuse me. Absolutely so. I'm curious what it's like around town now. I talked to Tom Izzo a lot about this, and, he built an absolute monster at Michigan State, and the bar is so high right now that it just seemingly is never enough. No matter what you do, it's just never enough. Back in 1999, you took over San Diego State, where they had been sub 500 for 13 of the previous 14 years, and you've won 20 straight now in 8 straight years. Obviously, you've done an amazing job there. So what's the mood like around town? I mean, are the expectations totally out of control, and do the fans really understand how good it is now?
I think that's nature no matter where you are. At this stage now, they expect greatness here, and some remember what it was like before. Others are that's in the rearview mirror a long, long time ago, and they want you to win and win a lot. So no different than anywhere. But what I did yesterday too, Jim, I reminded everybody that this is a privilege and an opportunity. First time ever we've had a player, Chase Tapley, that's gone to 4 straight NCAA tournaments. Doesn't happen everywhere. It doesn't happen often in very many places. We're privileged to do it. So rather than get caught up in, boy, we got to win, we got to do this, be right now appreciative that we're in. We're going to fight like crazy to win. And but I think the atmosphere of fans, when you have success, we all want more. We all raise that bar and say, let's get more. And no different here than anywhere else right now.
Do this for me, Steve. Take one more look in that rearview mirror. After you won the 1989 title, you were at a dinner with President George W. Bush. You sat with Bob Hope and Audrey Hepburn. It's a pretty legendary set of dining companions. What was that dinner like?
It was surreal, to be honest with you. We walked in, and they'd seat you at different tables. Angie, and we kiddingly said she was at table C. She was with Vice President Dan Quayle. And I was at the number 1 table with Barbara Bush. I go and sit down. I see my name tag, and I look up, and it's Bob Hope. He jumps up and says, Steve Fisher, the Walter Mitty of college basketball, and went on to talk about every game we played. And to have that happen, it never happens to anybody. And then it happens to you, and you pinch yourself, and then you know how fortunate you are to have the opportunity and have some good fortune. And, this game is crazy, and you never know what's going to happen in that next turn.
San Diego State back in it. They're a 7. They're in the South. They face Oklahoma on Friday in Philadelphia. Steve Fisher joining us. Steve, great to get caught up with you. Always appreciate the visit. Good luck with it.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate being on with you.
Nice talking to you again. Steve, thank you. Pretty amazing. When he got there in 1999, 13 of 14 years, sub 500.